Today on Beauty from Trashes, we are going to be making juice box purses. What you're going to need are 13 juice pouches. You can also use 10. A regular box of juice boxes comes with 10 pouches in it. So if you wanted to make the purse that I'm about to make, you are going to need 13 juice pouches. So that means you have to buy 2 boxes instead of just 1. But if you didn't want to buy 2, you can always make a purse out of 10, and it's fine. It'll just be a little smaller. And then you'll also need your thread. You will see the thread on your juice box purse, so you might want to buy like a black or a white, or you can buy the same color as your juice box purse, like I'm going to be using purple. And you might also want tape, because that'll help you sew, like you can put your purses together with the tape and then sew and you won't mess up as much. And then for optional things, we have like bows and flowers made out of ribbon, or really whatever you want to put on your purse. You can add like your own little thing and make it unique and stuff, and that's fun and it's cute. And then I also have these magnetic buttons that I'm going to be using as like a clasp for my purse. You do not have to put a clasp on your purse, like it'll be fine if you don't, but I just like adding one because I think it's cute. And I got these at a regular craft store. You can probably find them at like Joann's and Michael's and Hobby Lobby, like anywhere probably. And if you don't know where to find them, just ask them one. They're really cute. And I'm going to be using my sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can always hand sew, but you're going to need a strong needle because it's going to be hard to get the needle through the pouches. I really do recommend using a sewing machine though. So, yeah. Before you start sewing, you're going to want to clean out your juice box pouches because there's still juice in them, whether you think there is or not. And so they look like this on the bottom. And what you're going to do is you're just going to cut down the line here in the middle. And when you do, it'll look like this. It'll have like extra flaps here, and you can just push them down. They're not a big problem. And then just wash it out, and then leave it open like this, like lay it out and let it dry for like a day or two, and then you can start sewing with them. And you won't even notice when you start sewing because it just closes and can't even tell that you did anything. And by the way, your purse is going to smell like whatever juice box pouches you have, because like even washing them, you still get the like grape smell or whatever smell you are using, I guess. The first thing we're going to sew are our handles. We're going to make 2. And for this larger juice box that I'm going to be making, we're going to use a 3 juice box handle. But if you're making the 10 juice box purse, then you're only going to be doing 2 instead of 3. But it's the same concept. So we're going to start by taking our juice pouches and just cutting them straight down the middle in half. Then once you have your halves, they'll look like this. You're going to have 6 because you cut 3 juice boxes apart, or 4 if you did the 2. And you'll sew the 3 together. So how we're going to start sewing them is you're going to figure out, I guess, what order you want them in. I like to have like the 2 side ones upright, and then the middle one with the silver facing the same way as the other one, so all the silvers, like these top part silvers, are facing the same direction basically. That's how I like to make mine. And those on the other side, because when you sew this part, it'll look so much better. So I always do it that way. So the first thing you're going to sew on your handle is just take your pouches, and they have these little flaps at the very top, and that is how much you're going to overlap, as much as those flaps, and then just sew down the middle. And don't forget to back tap when you do, just one straight line. I just use a single stitch. And then once you've sewn this one together, just sew this one as well, so you have your 3, and we'll move on from there. Once we've sewn the juice boxes together, we're going to finish sewing it like this. So what we're going to do is just simply fold the juice pouch down a third of the way, basically. And you're going to sew this part first. I always sew the open part first. So bend it down and sew it all the way across, and then once you're done sewing that part, you're just going to take the other side and do the same thing. Just fold it down over the other part and just sew it straight across. So it'll look just like this, and that'll be the end of our handle. So the next thing we're going to do is our side panels. And if you wanted to put your magnet back on, you're going to have to do that first. So just take a juice pouch and cut slits in the back the same distance as your thing is wide. Slip this through, and then on the inside of the pouch you're going to put this on the back of this. And then just fold these 2 flaps down, and it'll stay in place. And once you have that in, if you wanted it, it is optional, you just sew your pouches together, your 3 of them, and it has these side things, and you're just going to overlap them, and that's how much you're going to sew. Just straight down, and just sew all 3. And you're going to need to make 2 panels, by the way. Now we're going to do our bottom. So take one of your side panels and take 2 juice pouches, and then line up your juice pouches so that they're the same length as your panels. Now for a 13 juice pouch purse, it just so happens that 2 juice pouches are the same size, so you're just going to have to overlap this part and sew it. But if you were going to do the if you're doing a 10 juice pouch purse, then you're only going to have 2 panels, and you're going to have to line up 2 juice pouches to make them the same width, or length, whatever, as your 2. Now you're going to want to sew your handle onto your side panel. So to do that, you just take your strap and put it on the back side of your juice pouch. Now I like to put it somewhat far down, about probably an inch down and almost an inch inside. You're going to do that on both sides. Now when you bring your other handle around, you're going to have to kind of bend it. And you don't want to put it like this so that the back side is facing you. You want to make sure that both the front sides are facing the outside. And you know that this part is the back with the silver on it, and this part is the front. So you want to make sure that both the fronts are facing out, and your handles are an inch down and an inch in. And you want to sew them a couple of times. I sewed mine 3 times just to make sure that they don't come off, you know, because they'll have some strain on them when you put stuff in your purse. So once you've put your handles on your bag, we're ready to start putting our whole bag together. So what you have are your 2 side panels, your bottom, and then 2 extra juice pouches. I've already sewn one of my juice pouches onto my bottom. So you're going to sew both of them on to your bottom, just like this, silver sides in, and you're just going to sew across the very top on both sides like I did on this one. And it'll open like this. Then we'll have 2 just like that. And that's how we're going to start making the purse. So once you sew those 2 panels onto your bottom, you're going to sew on a side panel. Now how we're going to sew on the side panel is you just take your panel and put the 2 silvers together. So this silver, like it would have been like this. You take this silver and take your panel and put them against each other like that, so they fold just like this. And then you're just going to sew down the side here. Now you don't want to sew all the way to the bottom. You just want to leave a tiny bit of space because it'll be easier to sew the rest of your bag. So just sew all the way down. And you're going to do that with both of them. So I'm going to take this next one and do the same thing. But this time, I sewed this one on this side to make this part of the bag. So this one I'm going to sew over here. And I'm going to sew on the opposite panel. So it's going to go on like this. So you should be able to open it up. And if this were to open up, you'll have like a Z or 2 or something like that when you open it up. So this one goes this way and this one goes this way when you fold it. Your silver's in. Don't sew all the way to the bottom. And when you bring it up, it'll fold into your purse. After you made your Z, you're going to want to sew the other corners of your bag. So I already sewed this corner, so that's completely done. And I'm about to sew this one. So all you're going to do is make sure that the 2 silvers are against each other, and you're going to sew straight down here. Now, what I usually do is I take a piece of tape and I put it right here next to the handle on the inside to keep my panel together while I'm sewing. Otherwise, it'll go all crooked and it's really hard to sew. So I just put a piece of tape holding both of them together. I hope you can tell where I'm telling you to sew, but you're just going to take them, put them together, and sew right down the side. So it makes a nice corner like that. So once you've sewed your corners, the last thing you have to sew is the bottom of your bag, because you'll have a hole like this. And so how you're going to do that, I've already done it on this side, is you're going to take your bag and fold it like you would a brown paper bag. So you want to fold this inside in first, make it like a triangle, and then whichever side you are sewing, like I'm going to be sewing this side, is the side that you're going to put down, and you're going to push the other side up. So I'm sewing down here. I'm not sewing up here, so I'm going to push this side up, and that part down, and you sewed it like a paper bag, or you folded it like a paper bag. And now you have this part open, and you're just going to sew straight down, just like that. So once you're done with your bottom, you can just add your little bow or flower, anything that you wanted to put on your bag now. And yeah, you're done. So thank you for watching Beauty from Trashes. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter.